Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking to you about debit cards, credit cards, and cash. But more specifically, I'm going to tell you about why I don't use debit cards. When purchasing items, there are many different ways that you can pay. Cash used to be more common back in the day, but now we live in such a digital world that a lot of people like to use debit cards, credit cards, or even cryptocurrency. When choosing a form of payment that is best for you, it is important to know the advantages and the disadvantages of each form of payment. First, cash. Cash is great because it is a physical thing that you can hold in your hand to spend your money. But the problem with having something physical in your hand is that you could lose it could get stolen, or it could even get damaged. If you have a $20 bill and it gets ripped up, you can't use that anymore because it's ripped. Its value is done. It's gone. Something to note about cash is that there are some places that only accept cash. For example, there are a lot of barbershops that will only take cash when you go get your haircut. If you go to an event and you have to go to park, a lot of times they will only take cash. And then there's some restaurants, such as sometimes ice cream places, small little places, that will only take cash because they don't want to pay that extra fee on a debit or credit card. Therefore, my recommendation when it comes to cash is always keep at least $100 at your home at all times, just in case of an emergency. And keep about $20 to $40 in your wallet, just in case you go somewhere and you didn't know it was cash only. But just because you have that $20 to $40 in your wallet, it does not mean you need to spend it. Now to talk about the pros and cons of debit cards. And let me warn you, I don't have that many pros to talk about with debit cards because debit cards are definitely my least favorite form of payment. The thing that I would say that is the best about debit cards is the fact that if you have overdraft protection turned on, you cannot overdraft your account. So if you go to buy something and you don't have enough money in your account, your card is going to decline. Another thing that I really like about debit cards is that it's essentially cash, but in a plastic form in your hand, so you always know how much money you have on that little plastic card. There's many things that I don't like about debit cards, but more specifically when it comes to cards in general, they're really easy to get stolen. But when it comes to debit cards, if your card gets stolen, your money, your actual money is taken out of your account, and it could take days, sometimes weeks to get your money back. And if you needed that money for something, well, I'm sorry, you don't have it because somebody stole it and it's your money. You don't have it anymore. Another negative when it comes to debit cards is that there's no real benefit of using them. Like when you have cash, sometimes places will give you a discount because they don't have to pay the fee when you use a card. And when it comes to credit cards, you get perks and points and rewards and stuff like that I'll get into in just a minute. But there's no real benefit to using a debit card. And now, for the almighty form of payment, the granddaddy of all payments, credit cards. I am going to tell you why you should always, always, always use a credit card. My absolute favorite thing when it comes to credit cards are the points. You can get points back on your credit cards for things such as airlines, cashback, and what I use my credit card for are hotel stays. I personally use the Hilton credit card because I like staying in their Hampton Inn hotels. But there are many different hotel chains who offer credit cards. So if you don't really care for the Hilton, you could probably find your favorite hotel chain and get a credit card for them so you can rack up points to stay for free. Another great thing about credit cards is that they typically come with a sign-up bonus. And with this sign-up bonus, the credit card company will typically give you points or give you cash back if you spend X amount of dollars in X amount of time. When I signed up for my credit card company gave me enough points so that I could have 4 free nights in a hotel. And what's also great is that I can refer people in my life and I can get 1 free night and they can get 4 free nights as well. Getting these points and free hotel stays has really allowed me to travel more and travel to more places that I typically wouldn't travel to. This is also allowing me to travel a lot more affordably because hotels are pretty expensive. And I'm doing this all while still spending the same amount of money that I typically would month to month, but I'm spending this money on my credit card. Another reason why credit cards are a lot better than debit cards is if you get your credit card stolen, it is a lot easier to dispute the charges on a credit card than it is on a debit card. The reason for this is because a credit card company acts as an intermediary between you and your money. But when it comes to a debit card, the money is automatically taken out of your bank account, which is your actual money. So that money is gone. Another great thing about credit cards is the convenience aspect of them. It is really easy to add your credit card to your phone, and you can pay with your phone typically anywhere, just in case you forget your wallet or something like that. With how common online shopping is nowadays, it's essential to have some sort of credit or debit card. I choose to have a credit card when I'm online shopping because of the protection aspect of it, as well as I'd like to continue to get those points so I can get more free hotels. The final reason that I recommend others to pay with credit cards over the other forms of payment is to build your credit score. A lot of old-fashioned people would say that you don't need a credit score to get some of the things that you need, but is essential if you need any sort of loan, a loan for a car, a loan for a house, student loans, anything that you would need a loan for, you need a credit score to prove that you are able to pay that loan back. A common place that credit scores will come into play is when you're going to get an apartment. The landlord will pick the person who typically has the better credit score because they're proving that they are more financially responsible. So why not get a credit card and start building your credit today? There is one disadvantage when it comes to credit cards, but it all comes down to personal responsibility. And that is, it is really easy to go into debt. A lot of people will open up a credit card and start spending their money on the credit card, but when they get the bill, they realize they can't afford to pay that bill back. If you don't pay back your credit card bill, you start to accumulate debt. But what's different with credit card debt is that you accumulate a really high interest rate. For example, if I weren't to pay my credit card back, I would have to pay 28% in interest. Because of this high interest rate, credit card debt is the hardest debt to get out of, but credit card debt is the easiest to avoid as long as you're not spending money that you don't have. So, if you don't think you can handle getting a credit card, please don't open one. The advantages do not outweigh the fact that you can go into debt. You can use a debit card or you can use cash. But if you think you can handle a credit card, please open up one, build your credit score, and get those points. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope the next time you go out and make a payment, you think about this video and reconsider which form of payment that you use. And I also hope that you see why I don't use debit cards. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below and let me know what credit card you have and what advantages and what free things you get out of it. I'll see you guys in the next one.